Hello, Strongboy13 here. Well, today's topic, global warming could potentially disrupt the Wi-Fi. So yes, it could put the internet underwater apparently. So, as we know, the sea level rise, well, depending on what parts of the world you'll be in, could drown your Wi-Fi connection. Why is that? You're going to find out. So turning your device on and off again will not help fix this issue, but preventing sea level rise maybe will. So forget calling tech support, or restarting your computer. When sea level rise floods the internet infrastructure, it will have to be rebuilt from scratch. Increasing temperatures and glacier melt are contributing to the threats that thousands of miles of internet infrastructure along the United States coastlines will be flooded in as soon as 15 years, according to a new study. So the researchers state that when the internet was built over 30 years ago, very little of the infrastructure was designed to be functional underwater, and climate change was not considered during its construction. The infrastructure includes underground fibre optic cables, data centres, traffic exchanges and termination centres that are mostly buried, and parallel coastlines and highways. Over 6,400 kilometres of buried fibre optic conduct is located in regions that could be flooded from sea level rise by 2033. So over 1,100 traffic hubs could be engulfed by the ocean. So the findings indicate that the infrastructure located, like for example New York, Seattle, Miami, are the most at risk, and the networks of CenturyLink, Interlink and AT&T will be the most affected. So the study notes that effective moderation efforts, such as building seawalls to protect the infrastructure, are hard to estimate because sea level rise is extremely difficult to manage. So senior author Paul Barford has said that the risk is a wake-up call for both the industry and the government to begin considering how the risk to internet infrastructure can be minimised as the climate changes. So anyways, recently we've been having this July global heatwave. We could be expecting more like this in the upcoming future. So this year, during the first 3 weeks of July, people all over the world had experienced unusually high temperatures and persistent high pressure domes, and the heat was inescapable. The hottest temperature ever reliably recorded in Africa reached a scorching 51.3 degrees Celsius in Ulaga in Algeria, and it was so hot in New Jersey that it took 8 microseconds longer to transmit information in the New York Stock Exchange data center. While weather extremes are a natural occurrence, the globe collectively noticed atypical temperature highs, and some of the heat records broken last week include, we've already been going through these, but let's go through again. Baku, Azerbaijan, an all-time record high of 43 degrees Celsius was recorded Sunday, July 1st, which promoted high use of air conditioning that a hydroelectric power plant exploded and caused the worst power outage the country has seen since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. An all-time record high of 36.6 degrees Celsius in Quebec in Canada was recorded on Monday, July 2nd. This is the highest temperature ever recorded since Montreal began keeping temperatures records 147 years ago, and 74 deaths in the province have been linked to the heatwave. In Yerevan, Armenia, an all-time high record of 42 degrees Celsius was recorded Monday, July 2nd. In Tisby in Georgia, an all-time record high of 40.5 degrees Celsius was recorded Wednesday, July 4th. In Los Angeles, United States, an all-time record high of 43.9 degrees Celsius was recorded Saturday, July 7th at the University of California in Chino. Located just outside of Los Angeles, recorded an all-time high of 48.9 degrees Celsius. In Tyrwhitt in Taiwan, an all-time high record of 40.3 degrees Celsius was recorded Monday, July 9th. Currently, 30% of the world's population lives in climatic conditions where daily mean temperature and relative humidity exceed the level threshold, and if carbon dioxide emissions continue along their current trends, by 2100 it is projected that it could become approximately 74% of the world's population. Climate change will increase the frequency and severity of heat waves, and according to a study in Nature, by the late 2020s the accumulation of greenhouse gases will overtake natural variability as the main cause of heat waves western regions of the United States, in the Great Lakes regions by the middle of the 2030s, and in the northern summer plains by 2050 and 2070. The link between carbon emissions and extreme heat are becoming clearer, and in an interview with the Meteorological and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, meteorologist Homsi Lopez states that without human activity, half the heat waves that are projected to occur in the future wouldn't happen. So as we know, the poll shows belief in climate change research is a new high amongst Americans. So for the first time in a decade, belief that there is solid evidence for global warming has reached a record high for Americans. So in reports from the national surveys on energy and the environment, 73% of those surveyed think there is solid evidence of global warming, which is the highest amount since the 2008 survey, where only 72% of respondents thought there was solid evidence. This survey was conducted in April and May this year, and it's the fifth straight survey where at least 70% of Americans think there is evidence for a changing climate. During the time of the survey, the US and many other countries around the world were experiencing particularly hot weather, and the NOAA reported in June that the month of May in 2018 was the fourth warmest May on record. So, living in greenhouse neighbourhoods slows cognitive decline in elderly. A new study also conducted by the Barcelona Institute of Global Health indicates that contact with green space not only improves mental health, but also could play a positive role in showing cognitive decline in the elderly. The global population is rapidly aging, and healthcare systems will have to adapt to changing needs of society, such as accommodating specific needs of the elderly, which include declines in physical and mental capabilities. So the World Health Organization expects that a proportion of people over the age of 60 years will nearly double from 12% to 22% between 2015 and 2050, with many people moving into urbanized cities and having less contact with nature. So the researchers studied 6,500 people, aged 45 to 68 in the living United Kingdom for 10 years, and used satellite imagery to calculate how green the neighbourhoods are. Cognitive tests were completed 3 times during the course of the study to assess verbal and mathematical reason, verbal fluency and short-term memory, and found that a decline in cognitive score was 4.6% slower in participants living in greener neighbourhoods. So the researchers reasoned that greener neighbourhoods slow cognitive decline by fostering social connection and support, reducing stress, promoting high levels of physical activity, and having lower levels of noise and air pollution. Increasing rates of urbanisation could accelerate cognitive decline in older adults, and the findings of this study could provide evidence that people will benefit from implementing green projects and infrastructure in cities by improving quality of life for the elderly and reducing costs and stress among healthcare providers, friends, and family members. That's all I have to deliver for today's news. Could the internet be underwater, let's say, in 30, 40, 50 years to come? Well, we'll find out. Hopefully, the government, you never know, will have plans to prevent any of this internet drowning related stuff. Just keep online. You never know. Some global future news could deliver one day to you, and it may be delightful news for your ears. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to do any more requests, as always, just comment below. Like, comment, subscribe. And any requests, I'm here for you. And keep hosted. Storm's now out. More videos to come soon.